Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, what is going to happen to our money if or when this digital currency hits? Is the money safe in the banks? Is the money we have in stocks safe? What do you think is going to happen? All right, so there's been a lot of chatter lately about the United States moving to a digital currency. And there's been a lot of fear and misunderstanding about what is exactly happening, what it means for us. So I want to give a lot of clarity on exactly what it is, maybe even why it's happening, and the effect that it will have for us. There are pros and cons. So it's interesting. Some people are confusing digital currency with cryptocurrency. So the cryptocurrency market is based on these digital coins. That's a whole different thing. So let's just get that out of your head. A US dollar-based digital currency is not a cryptocurrency, right? And even though they have some similarities, they're not the same. So a digital currency simply means that all transactions would be digital. Now, most of your transactions are electronic already. So let me talk about the difference between electronic and digital. So currently, if you use a debit card, credit card, if you have direct deposit, if you wire money to somebody, if you use Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all these other things, you are doing electronic transfers. You are doing cashless purchases. You are doing cashless transactions already. So the difference is you are doing an electronic transfer, but that electronic transfer can then be converted to paper money. So if, as a business owner, if I accept a credit card transaction, then I get the transaction, the electronically goes to my account, and then I can pull that out of my account as cash if I choose to. So in an electronic transaction, there is a settlement time, meaning it's not really instant, right? So it may show up in my account instant, but there's a settlement, meaning cash has to go from one place to another, it has to be available from one place to another. And there's a middleman in between that. So if I have a credit card processor, they get a fee for that. And it takes a couple of days for it to actually physically hit my account before I can pull it out as cash. The same with Cash App and Venmo, there's a settlement time. So like I said, you've been using electronic means of doing transactions for years now, and nobody's been afraid of it. So the difference between electronic and digital is that you would do the same transactions the same way. Because I see people go in the store and they take their phone, boop, pay for stuff. Their watch, boop, pay for stuff. People do that. You would do the same thing, except you would not be able to then convert it into paper. So why that freaks people out, I don't know. Because there was a time when transactions were made with gold, right? You had to have gold dust or gold coins or gold bullion or gold something to do transactions. And people said that doesn't make sense. It's too cumbersome. It's not safe. It's not all these other things. We'll have the gold stored someplace and we'll make a paper note that represents the value, and you can transact with the paper. And then if you want to, you can convert the paper to gold. And then we said, that doesn't really make sense to convert it to gold. We just have the paper. So now we have the paper, and we're saying, well, now that we have a new technology where we can do transactions instantly, faster with electronics, it doesn't really make sense to convert it to the piece of paper anymore, because you don't need the piece of paper. As a matter of fact, most of the clients that I have that are under 30 don't pay with cash, and they don't even know what a check is. So it's not even like they're paying with a check or a money order. Everything is a cashless transaction with my clients that are under 30. So moving towards that just makes sense. But the United States is not in a position or even close to replacing paper money at this time. So the United States, along with 114 other countries, is in the process of creating a pilot program to do what you call central bank digital currency, meaning from country to country, from bank to bank, from bank to government, government to maybe citizens to banks. creating on the wholesale level a digital currency, which will make transfers much faster, much safer, much easier. It is not going to happen in the retail space, meaning the replacement of actual physical currency. That will not happen for several years, maybe even a decade. The systems are not in place, the infrastructure is not in place. That we are not anywhere near having digital currency replacing paper currency in the retail space yet. We are quite a few years, maybe a few years away, 3, 4, maybe 5 years from creating a central bank digital currency that can be utilized globally. China has rolled out a pilot program, but they started this exploration maybe 2016, 2017, and they still just rolling out a pilot program that they're testing and won't be ready, they even say, for another 3 years. So we're way behind them. We're way behind Europe. We're way behind a lot of countries. So it will be several years before we can actually have a functional central bank digital currency, and then several years beyond that when we have an actual retail digital currency where all paper currency, all coinage is replaced. So what does that mean for us? That means transactions will be faster because there will be no settlement period. That means transactions will be safer because, they have to obviously have some type of encryption to prevent hacking, right? Because you can get your stuff stolen. Even cryptocurrencies, billions have been stolen, even in that realm, and they said it was, unstealable. So it'll be faster, it'll be safer, it'll be easier. It'll be a better system. It'll be easier to track your stuff. It'll be so super simple to walk around and whatever tool you have, whether it's a card, like, we still have credit cards, debit cards, whether it's that way, or whether it's your phone, or whether it's your wallet, or whether it's some other type of device, it'll be so much easier. It'll be cheaper too, because you'll be able to cut out the middleman. I know for me, the fees add up. Every time I take these electronic transactions, I got to pay somebody in the middle who's a middle person, doing that. So it'll be cheaper, it'll be safer, it'll be faster, it'll be easier when we move to a digital currency. How will it affect stocks? Not at all. Stocks have nothing to do with whether I've never bought stocks with paper currency, so that won't change. I've always done electronic purchases. And if I sell shares or redeem shares from a fund, it's always done electronically, so that won't change. With our money safe in the bank, all of your banking transactions are done most of the time digitally, unless you have currency and you put it in there, then it converts to something digital anyway or electronic anyway. So that won't change. So there should be no fear centered around the transition. It's a natural transition. We live in a digital world. Did the cryptocurrency world accelerate that? Absolutely. They show that it's a viable tool for doing transactions, and so it only makes sense for the greater population to move towards that. So don't fear it. It's a natural evolution. It's probably inevitable, and if anything, it will make your world easier, safer, and less expensive. So hopefully that answers your question. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, whether they're positive or negative, whether they're fears or something you are excited about. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Please like, share, subscribe. Keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.